This whole thing has been crazy.
Yeah, literally.
We came out that pay-per-view. We stayed up all night watching that, and to think we could wake up in the morning and have headlines like this is just madness. And it sounds so fake. It doesn't even sound real.
Literally, it's like it felt so weird as well. The atmosphere of the show felt like weird for some reason.
Yeah, it has. It feels so off. It feels like, again, it's just that tension. This is why I know it's real, because you can feel that tension. You can feel like there's a divide.
We knew something was brewing, because obviously we saw Punk calling out Hangman, and we was like, what the hell? Like, for why?
That's what I was saying. I remember watching that with you. I was watching that when it was recorded the next day, and it's like, he's calling out Hangman, and Hangman didn't come out. And we was looking at each other like, what a bitch. Like, well, he's actually a bitch. Why wouldn't he come out? Why would they book it like that? Why wouldn't Hangman come out? He looks like a bitch now.
Exactly.
It made no sense, and this is obviously why, because it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
And you've been hearing rumours of this, rumours of that. And with AEW, I've noticed that when there's a rumour, little is it actually a rumour, it usually turns out to be real.
Yeah.
Or there's some sort of claim to it.
Yeah, that's actually true. As we've seen with a lot of reports, when they say it, it then comes true. Just like the Malachi Black one.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah, they were saying that way before, and people were saying, "No, that's not true. And next minute, he's gone now." So
I saw a few people say, "Don't believe the dirt sheets. Don't believe the hype." He's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gone. So I feel like with AEW, clearly there is someone leaking shit.
Yeah, definitely.
There clearly is someone saying stuff, because there's a lot of things that come out way beforehand.
Yeah, for real.
Way beforehand.
And even so, we can go even back further, because when CM Punk and Daniel Bryan was coming into the company, we heard that before.
We heard it way before.
You know what I mean?
And when Cody was going, it wasn't just Cody's going WWE. It's he's going for the Royal Rumble and blah 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 blah. Like, people had
exactly.
the whole setup ready.
Yeah, for real.
There's some of these things you can't just like make an educated guess. That obviously these things are being put out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm noticing with AEW, the rumors hit a bit different, because so many of them, I can't think of one that didn't happen.
Yeah, for real.
It's very hard to think of stuff that didn't actually. I mean, maybe Bray Wyatt. People have been talking about Bray Wyatt for years, but
yeah, I don't know what Bray's doing. Bray is on and off, man. But
in terms of rumors, it usually comes true.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
But then saying that, is that the same for WWE as well? Because I've been hearing a lot of rumors from that side. And then it's coming true as well. So with all this Triple H stuff, with him bringing people back, it's actually been coming true as well. So
yeah,
I guess
at least his is more positive. I mean, well, depending on who you are, but yeah, I see what you mean. Where it's like, yeah, he's gonna bring back Braun Strowman, for example, and then he shows up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see what you mean. It is happening over there as well.
Yeah. So maybe it's just how things are at the moment, with obviously social media being so popping, and that people are just easier accessible for information, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. But it's usually like this person's coming in or this person's leaving. But with AEW, it's like this person's unhappy and this is going on backstage, and it's like, what? How do you even know that? And then
exactly. For little things like this, I'd say, yeah, most definitely, like this stuff needs to be kept under wraps, and that.
It just needs to be kept under wraps. Especially that's what they were known for. That's why they got so much good press when Cody died, because they kept it under wraps. No one knew nothing.
Exactly. That was the best secret that they did keep to themselves, and yeah, they kept that one secure in a good way. That's how you're supposed to positively do it.
Yeah, legit. And that's the way it should have been run. Things were working good. You didn't know about all this dissension shit, but I feel like ever since Cody left, it's just everything unraveled in terms of people keeping their shit together and keeping their shit to themselves. It just feels like since then, everything's up for debate. Everything's out there.
Yeah, for real. I was thinking that the other day as well. I think I saw an article about that also, about Cody being the one that, helped glue a lot of people together. I think we even said it within our conversation about when you saw, maybe vlogs and or BTE or Sammy's vlogs and stuff, you'd see Cody with a lot of people backstage, and it was just, a lot of different wrestlers on the roster. Whereas if you see BTE, you got Young Bucks and Kenny, but they're just to themselves, really. They're just
they have their own people.
Yeah, they're their own people rather than meshing with a bit of everyone here and there.
To the point where Cody wasn't even on the show anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like there was a lot of stuff to a lot you could take from that. But you could just see that Cody was trying to take the role. Unfortunately, it wasn't working out in ring wise, because doing both again, it does come with a price to pay, as we've seen again. But
yeah, literally.
I feel like backstage, I'm sure he was someone you could talk to, and especially. I just feel like he's more professional. I feel like he would handle himself better in these situations. We're about to talk about. I can't see Cody going in that locker room to confront him. I can't see that happening.
Yeah,
he would handle his business a bit better.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Cody was very, professional with how he dealt with stuff. I think even so, when he was leaving, he dealt with that quite professionally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
He obviously knew there was talks going on, but I think he still dealt with that the best way he could. He handled his business. He stayed there longer than he should have. He didn't have a contract and he was still wrestling, and I guess he put over Sammy as well at the same time. But and to say it was professional, it was very professional.
100%.
And if you're gonna be leaving a company, I'm sure you'll have your own feelings in a certain way. Because I see people obviously saying a lot of stuff about CM Punk was in his feelings and whatever, so he was allowed to say certain things. But we'll dive deeper into that part.
For sure, bro. So, Bonnet, let's dive into it. So,
wait. I think before we go further, we need to put a fat disclaimer. We are big time wrestling fans. We love AEW right now. We don't really watch WWE as much anymore, but we are still wrestling fans, and we're in tune to the whole programming of wrestling, WWE and AEW and whatever else is out there. We're big wrestling fans. we're not shitting on no one. We're just putting forward our opinions and whatnot.
Yeah,
and having a nice discussion.
100%. I mean, the sad part is the Elite and Punk are our top guys. Like these are people that we watch the show for. So this is the sad part. A lot of these guys are like these are top stars. So it's not like we want anyone just getting fired or but there's stuff to be spoken about, and there's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be discussed.
Yeah, exactly.
And you should be able to do this if you are a fan of something. You don't just shut up because, you know what I mean? You don't want to make it look worse than it already is. But, yeah, we are fans of this shit. We watch this shit. We put a lifetime into this shit. We look back at it.
For real.
So a few weeks ago, well, obviously, as you said earlier, Punk came down to the ring and he went into business for himself. He said that was a receipt for Hangman, for what Hangman had said. And I remember when Hangman was feuding Punk, it was weird. It was so weird. I can't remember if we watched it together or whether we just spoke about it afterwards, but there wasn't much of a build-up. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks before the pay-per-view or before their match. There wasn't a lot of build-up, so there wasn't much you could go off of. But I remember Hangman was like literally taking it like personal. It was a weird atmosphere. And I remember Punk was like Punk was he cutting promos on each other because you build into the pay-per-view. But there was parts where you could see it in Punk's face. He's like, what's he doing? I think he even said it at one point. He was saying like, I don't know why you're taking it so personal. It's not personal. It's about the title.
Yeah.
And it just felt weird for the viewer. It just felt like, why is he taking it so personal? What's he talking about? I'm defending it from you and all this stuff. It just seemed weird. If Punk's not a heel, it seemed weird. And it was weird that they didn't select a face or a designated face or heel for that situation. They both went into the match as faces, so there was just a weird stigma. But stuff Hangman was saying didn't really add up. And then obviously they had the match. Punk got injured, and that was that.
Yeah.
So, for the average fan, people don't know what was going on. It was just a bit confusing. And that was the end of it. He didn't really think much of it. And obviously Punk's come back, and he's given what he calls a receipt for Hangman's comments. So what Punk says is he believes that what Hangman was doing was basically a nod at what happened with Punk and Colt Cabana, obviously what happened before with the lawsuit and that, and he thinks that he pushed his power to get Colt fired. Well, not fired, but moved to Ring of Honor. So he had to leave the Dark Order. He had to lose his TV spot because there is no Ring of Honor television show right now. So basically, you got kicked off TV.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on that? You think?
Yeah. Funny enough, I saw the promo today come up in a YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
It was Hangman, obviously saying his promo part. I think the part that Punk is talking about is when he says, I think Punk sent out a tweet, and he was saying about supporting your workers or something like that, something along those lines. And I think Hangman then referenced that to say, "Oh, but you haven't done that since being here," type of stuff. So yeah, it was definitely a dig at him towards the Colt Cabana situation.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I think, it wasn't that bad of a dig to be getting this mad about it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, for where it's ended up now, from where it started, it's actually crazy. Can't even remember what I was gonna say now. Yeah, from the promo. Yeah, but yeah, it did seem off and out of nowhere as well at the same time. Personally, I don't think I see it as, going into business for himself. I see it as maybe, a dig to heighten the beef, but maybe that's a bit too insider for anyone else. That was definitely just a direct attack at Punk, maybe, because no one else would really know that information other than, if you read the dirt sheets or if. But then again, we read the dirt sheets. We didn't know nothing about that. Yeah, we didn't know nothing about it, so it was very inside to be mentioning it, and it made it for a weird scenario and made it a bit awkward on TV to be viewing, because we was confused. We was like, why is Hangman taking it so personal like this? And even for CM Punk's reaction to it was a bit, okay, maybe he wasn't supposed to say that. Now it does seem a bit off now. Now it seems a bit off. Now it seems like you wasn't supposed to be saying what you're saying.
Yeah, it felt awkward. It did feel awkward.
Yeah,
for sure. Again, because we weren't to know that information.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It was obviously a direct dig to Punk, because no one else even knew that. No one knew that they were beefing backstage about Colt. No one knew that. So it had zero sense to the average viewer, even the smart viewer, I'd say, because no one called this out beforehand, not until now.
Yeah, no, not at all. It
made zero sense. But obviously to him, that had been going on backstage for a while or whatnot. So to him, obviously, he took it very personally.
Yeah. Which I don't blame him for either, to be honest, because as I said previously, it was a very direct shot that maybe wasn't necessary.
Yeah, I just think he doesn't want I don't think he wants the blame for it. I think they're blaming him for Colt Cabana's firing or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the way he sees it is, I didn't let's just say he didn't talk about him. I didn't speak about him. I didn't ask for him to be moved nowhere, so don't put that on my name.
Yeah, most definitely.
But again, that being said, all because you didn't ask for it to happen. It obviously happened because of you.
I think that's
what he's not doing. But that's not fair for them to put on him. But at the same time, it's like if me and you are beefing, and then our parents go out to eat, for example, and then they invite you. They might not invite me because they might not want us both in the same room.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you asked me not to come, but they're trying to avoid us, coming head to head. So
exactly.
It's more like a deterrent versus Punk's asked for this.
Yeah, and as we can see with Tony Khan and CM Punk, they've got a very I don't even know how to say their connection, but they got a very They got a very different connection, it seems. Tony Khan is definitely allowing CM Punk to do and say much more than what he should be allowed to. Especially at certain times, anyway.
Yeah, a shocking amount more than he should be allowed to say. I think.
Yeah, so
not even just allowed to say. To me, it shows me the respect level. Like if you're representing someone, and you're at an event where you're there to represent that person and what they have going, and someone's heckling you or whatever, you don't react because I'm here in representation of that person. So my reaction, it reflects on them.
Yeah.
So you're sitting right next to your boss, right? You're just mugging off everything he's got going on, belittling everything. He can't stop you. Every time he speaks, you cut him off basically and saying more shit. You're making him look like a fool.
Yes.
So I think there's definitely like, I don't know if it's a respect thing or whether it's just he literally thinks he's bigger than the company or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I think obviously he knows. Maybe he knows the value that he has within the company, as well as the amount that has been on him as well. And yeah, he knows he's a big guy. He knows he's a top guy, and he's someone that would definitely draw numbers if he just comes out to the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So that probably, because if he was no one on down the card, and I'm sure he wouldn't be so outspoken or whatever. But he knows he's a big person that he can say what he wants as well.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, within good reason. He is a bad man at the same time.
Yeah, for real.
Like, don't get it wrong. I'm not shitting on Punk or anything. But yeah, it's just gone weird. So I need to step back and evaluate the situation as if, what just basically from what's right and from what's wrong, rather than who the person actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking, because it might. Yeah. I think a lot of people would see it differently for different people if it was different people.
Exactly. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be like, Punk's a bad man anyway. Let him say what he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So it's one of those things. But
yeah.
So back to that. Yeah, Punk obviously, as we said, a few weeks later. Well, not a few weeks later, but when he was recovered from his first injury, came back, gave Hangman the receipt. Had a weird feud with Mox. He lost the first time. Went into All Out. Had a great match. Won the championship.
Yeah.
Obviously injured again, so I had to relinquish it.
Again.
But before we can
straight away.
off something stupid. It's a dive again, basically.
Yeah.
He needs to stop doing those. Apparently, never ends up open. Torn tricep or something like that. But I mean, before we could even get to that news, obviously the scrum was directly after the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So Punk comes out. He's first out. He's got his brand new championship. Adrenaline's rolling, pumping. He sits down, and everyone keeps saying, "Oh yeah, no one asked him the question," and they didn't. But I'm not defending him or nothing. But obviously the question was gonna come up eventually. Someone was gonna ask him about the beef with the Bucks. I mean, with Hangman or whatever. It's gonna come up in some way, shape, or form. And obviously, the guy in the front row was, I think it's Colt Cabana's ex. I think they used to do, not ex, but you know what I mean? They used to do, yeah. I was going to say ex something else, but I forgot the word ex-journalist or something like that. But,
yeah, I hear you.
They used to talk and do stuff. So Punk thought, all right, I can use this guy as a segment to get to my point. And obviously the guy then said he don't fuck with Coke anymore and fucked this whole point up. But he continued anyway. So obviously then that's what's caused all this, is Punk's gone off on everybody. He's gone psycho. He's dissed Hangman again, empty-headed dumb fuck. He's dissed all of the elite, the EVPs.
Yeah.
So, they couldn't manage the target. They spread rumors. He's gone off on some of the roster, but I think the other stuff was mostly in character. But obviously the major stuff was what he said about the EVPs and Hangman. And obviously Colt himself. He went into. I'm not going to go over the Colt business. I mean, that's not really here nor there. He said he's got receipts. Whatever he said about Colt, that is what it is. Yeah. Didn't need to be aired out there or anything. But what Punk is saying, this is his boiling point. He's at this scrum. He ain't talking about the pay-per-view. He ain't talking about him winning the championship. He's decided just to go off, basically. Go off on a different level.
And go off he did.
He did, and he was not stopped. He was not questioned. Tony Khan didn't walk out or say he didn't cut his mic. No, he just left him to go on. So
I feel for Tony in a way though, because obviously in that situation, what do you really do? Because I think I didn't watch the full scrum, but I'm sure I saw some other snippets, and he was just moving reckless, man. I think it was something like Tony Khan was speaking, or maybe CM Punk got asked a question. I think it was about MJF, and then CM Punk said something about Tony keep putting him up with
pricks.
I can't remember what he said, man. He said bad word though. I'm sure he said a few bad word. Stop putting me up against these whatevers. I don't know, man. So obviously I'm thinking when someone is going to go say something like that now, and you're just sitting right there next to him, and you can see that Tony was a bit awkward with those comments as well. But what was he really going to do in front of the public? And that he can't really say, can you not say that or something like that? You can't really say that stuff during, it's live. People are there, right there. It's a bit harder to stop the situation. I don't know what he could have done to prevent it. Maybe he should have had a talk with CM Punk before the scrum or something, or I don't even know, man. Because I think even then CM Punk would have just gone and said what he wanted to say anyway.
Yeah, probably he would have said what he was going to say, but I don't know. I just feel like at that point it was already a train wreck. You might as well lock it off. You might as well just cut it off. You might as well just tell them we'll go home. They're just media fuckers. No one cares. He was going off. I understand Tony Khan couldn't just, I don't know, cut him off like a child. Oh, don't say that or whatnot. But a train wreck.
Maybe he should have, man. Maybe he should have. I think if he did, a lot might have been avoided.
Problem is, right? He's the president of this whole company. He owns the whole thing. He runs all these people. So not only has he got to look after Punk, but you got people in the back watching. They're watching how you handle people. If you show everyone that they can just walk all over you, he's gonna have a problem with everybody. Honestly, he's gonna have a problem with everybody now because Punk is just literally in there doing what he wants to do, basically. And nothing is happening. There's no repercussions. His mic ain't cut. Tony ain't saying, "Can I grab you?" Or like, he's not saying nothing. It's like this guy's just going off 100% on everybody. And some of the parts he was nodding. He's like nodding his head, like in agreement. It was just weird, man. It just felt weird.
Yeah, I saw that as well. That was a bit weird for him to do.
And it's like, if you don't stop it, then who will? Like, if this guy can't get control of this. You know what I mean? It's like if you can't control this sinking ship, then no one can. We're literally just gonna drown here.
Yeah, and the thing that is weird now is because we just had the MJF situation, where it was a work, it was a massive work where it didn't seem so to begin with. People was confused like, oh, it's not a work, it is a work, it's not a work, it is a work, and that was very real.
Yeah. So.
With this stuff happening as well at the same time, it's making people question like what is going on. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it makes it seem like there is no control or Tony doesn't have the right say, because especially if, for example, when we didn't know the MJF stuff wasn't real, wasn't a work, shall I say? We was thinking, how is he allowing people to go on the show and voice their opinion like this and say how they want more airtime and they want more money and this and that and this and that, but they are out on the show given a mic and they're saying this stuff, like, and none of them was cut off or anything, or not that I remember, or there's no repercussions from that afterwards either. Well, as we saw with MJF, obviously he was off TV for a while, but then he came back in storyline fashion, had a big fat voicemail before he comes out to the ring. So obviously that was a major work and, well played. But unfortunately it was overshadowed by this stuff. But,
that's the sad thing.
But that's another story. But yeah, it's just me going along the lines of, you know, where is Tony's control in this? He doesn't seem to have as much control as he should have. Yeah, as we said in another conversation, Vince would never let this run. You know what I mean? Vince can't be walked over like this. You think you could have someone like let's use a big superstar as well. Not that he would do this. I need to think of a hot-headed one. Let's say Randy Orton then. If you think Randy Orton and Vince McMahon could sit next to each other, talking to the media, and Randy's running his mouth like that, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Vince would already have that under control, and Randy would know not to say anything stupid because he knows there is going to be big repercussions after that.
Yeah, you'd read it online. Randy Orton heated backstage after media scrum. That's what you hear.
Exactly.
You wouldn't visually have a full recording of the man going off and Vince just sitting there nodding and shaking his head and looking all awkward. It would have been dealt with properly, 100%. And I think
exactly.
Yeah, what you said is spot on. I think with AEW, there's this feeling of lack of control, and you don't unless you have someone with a specific gimmick like that, like a loose cannon. Yeah, you got like Brian Pillman, or you got someone who's a loose cannon who's going, you know, that's his gimmick. That you don't know what he's gonna do. That's fine.
Yeah.
But AEW as a whole feels that way. It just feels like it's just people do what they want to do, and you don't know what's going on. It just seems like just chaos, absolute unrest. You don't know what's going on. This person's going here, that person's going there. This person's unhappy, no shows. This person no shows. It's not a good look for a professional company. And I actually think they need to dial down with the MJF stuff, because especially right now, because you can't have this guy keep going out there bad mouthing your company. This is crap. I'm gonna go work for a real company at a time like this.
Yeah, no, not when it's too real. I think maybe before, if it was, I mean, before, as it was a work, and you know, it worked out in the end, that, you know, it just made sense afterwards, then it would have been fine. But because this real stuff is happening at the moment, it's like I don't want to hear it. It's like when me and you said we was gonna watch the show, we felt like sicky. We didn't really want to watch it because, you know, we don't want no. We didn't want no. I don't even know what the feeling was, but I felt like something was just gonna go wrong on the show or something, man. Yeah. And you know, we only want to see these shows progress rather than, you know, fall. So.
Yeah, 100%. I think they should avoid keeping WWE in their mouths though. I think the MJF storyline is great. I think he should be a fairly unruly character. And then get to 2024, you know, the year he becomes a free agent, then do all this shit. It doesn't even make sense in 2022, really. You got 2 years on your contract, Bredrick. That you're not going nowhere just yet.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of it like that.
So it's like you've got time on your contract. Do that then. You know, you keep talking about this bidding war in 2024. Yeah, that's going to be a sick gimmick. That's going to be a great ploy. Imagine if he's champion then. He's talking about bidding war. He's talking to Triple H. And he will be, because they will be after MJF.
Most definitely.
So that will be a good storyline. And it's a big deal when he re-signs, or it's a big deal when he does jump ship.
Yeah.
I think doing it now, I mean, it worked. I ain't going to complain. It worked and it's good TV. But at the moment, where everything's so messed up right now, I think you need to. He's too good to only be able to do that as well. He can do a lot of stuff. He needs a proper feud now. I think it's I think feud.
Yeah, I think it's just maybe the now is very, you know, muddy right now.
Yeah.
So we want stuff to be patched up and fixed rather than, you know, we don't want you to be teasing that there's cracks and stuff when, you know, we can actually see that there is real cracks happening. We don't want you to be, you know, enforcing that when there is actually problems that need fixing.
Yeah, 100%. And they do it quite a lot. They'll have a team like, I don't know, the Wingmen come out and talk about, we don't get TV time or shit like that. They don't. No guy like Ethan Page come out, I ain't getting booked, I ain't being used properly, I ain't get TV time. They don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe you shouldn't book people or script people to say shit that's true, unless you got
for real.
Unless you got a plan to fix it. I know they're doing this Hathaway stuff, but There's plenty of people that have said it and it was true and they won't get used.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't see the point of making people say it. It's like, I don't know, it's like they're trying to do this real thing where it's like, oh yeah, you know, this person came back to me backstage and said they ain't getting used. Let's turn it into a gimmick. Like, no, don't do that unless you're gonna use them.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying before. It was starting to seem like that they're wanting it this way in order for it to be like, don't listen to the dirt sheets because, you know, it's not real information. We're just using it for TV and using it as a work, as if they was trying to make kayfabe real again.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously it doesn't seem. I mean, now we know it's not that way because, I mean, if it still is, I'm gonna be fucking mind blown. But but I don't think it is at all because, you know, it's way too real and, you know, stuff has actually happened, and, you know, it has gone further than what it should have.
Again, I love the kayfabe stuff. Like, again, if it's like, let's just say Punk's feuding MJF still. If I read that, you know, they bumped into each other outside, there was an altercation and out in the car park, you know, in the parking lot, and they had a fight. Like, I love that stuff. That's cool. They're beefing, but the AEW stuff, it's rarely even people that are feuding together. Look at Punk and the Elite. They even met in ring yet. They haven't even met on TV together, and they're beefing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's met Hangman. He had a match with him, but for the most part, it's not even people that have met up and stuff that even
so
happy with. So it don't make sense.
Yeah, it wouldn't even make sense. It wouldn't even make sense if it was a work. Because what's a trio people doing with Punk? It don't make no sense. Exactly. And they all got stripped from their championships. Yeah, it's such a shame on both sides as well. Kenny just came back. CM Punk just came back, man.
Just to debut those championships, the trio championships.
Right.
Brand new well, not brand new, second time champion for Punk. I mean, he's had 0 defenses.
Man, oh man.
2 wins, 0 defenses.
Nah, he's cursed, man. He's cursed.
He should never be able to challenge for just leave it alone.
Yeah, leave the championship alone now.
Look at the All Atlantic or something. Elevate the team.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay away from that main championship.
Yeah, exactly. As much as I wanted to see him champion, I think he needs to stay away from that for a while. If he comes back anyway, I think he needs to stay away from that for a good while. But then again, by the time he comes back, that's gonna be like fat time away. He's away for like 6 to 8 months, right?
6 to 8 months, and there's still talks of him possibly being fired. But again, I don't know about all that stuff.
Nah, I doubt it. I think if he was gonna get fired, it would have happened already.
This is what I was thinking the other day. People keep talking about, oh yeah, the Elite have been suspended and Punk due to be fired. I'm thinking, if they were suspended that quick, like just like that, there might be some truth to this whole self-defense story for them not to have any. Like, they got a legal investigation before Punk and Ace before they've been suspended or before they've been fired. There's an investigation, but the other guys have been suspended.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't think it's going to be as cut and clear as everyone thinks.
Nah.
Because it would have been everyone suspended until investigation, or no one suspended until investigation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they're saying Mega was in there and MJF apparently was around there.
Yeah, that's what I
so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For real.
Talking about the Elite and Omega. What's your thoughts on this? Like them bursting into his locker room. I heard that the whole bursting in thing is cap.
I was hearing a madness. I was hearing them super kicking the door. I was hearing they BTE triggered the door. So I don't know what people were saying. But I think I don't know if it was a burst in, then yeah, that's tension's gonna be high already. I mean, in general, if someone's gonna burst in my room, then I'm gonna be a bit annoyed already. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Oh, I say annoyed, but I'm gonna be vexed. Like, what are you saying? You know, I'm gonna be.
Oh, what you doing?
Exactly. You're gonna be on the smoke straight away. You know what I mean? But yeah, if it's just, you know, they entered his room and he was a bit hype and mouthy and that, you know. I think regardless of however anyone entered, there shouldn't have been any physicality to it. I think as performers, as wrestlers, they should be able to take whatever comments you say on the chin. And I say that with all of them as well. I used to see Eddie Kingston as one of the damn realists because he took everything and he said anything. Yeah. But then next minute, Sammy's calling him fat and he wants to swing for man. So I found that a bit odd because
you didn't run it by him first, man. What do you mean?
I thought doesn't everyone just call him fat anyway?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I was thinking. I mean, it's. I think it just hit him too deep. That's what everyone's told him his whole life, like Punk and all that.
Yeah, that should be the one thing that he should be able to swipe over.
Yeah, I mean, again, because he called him fat and he went to swing for him. So if you connected, you could have lost your whole career over this.
For real.
Base comment. He didn't. That's some basic stuff, man. That's some low hanging fruit insult, and it made you almost jeopardize your whole career.
Yeah, for real. You know what I don't get with that situation actually?
Yeah.
I don't get how he got suspended for 2 weeks and people only found out after when the guy was coming back. Yeah. How did that happen? How did he get suspended and then people find out afterwards rather than he gets suspended straight away? Because when the articles came out, he was already finished with his suspension. So I was thinking, why even report it in the first place?
Yeah, I think it just got out. I think people after we asked him, "How was you off TV?" and he said, I was suspended. But like to your credit, if you're gonna tell people anyway, why even hide it?
Yeah, for real.
You might as well go publicly say he's been suspended. But I guess when you do that, you make a big. Well, as you can see, you make a big deal out of it. Versus that was unknown, and he swung for him. It's a similar situation. But this one is fucking everywhere.
Yeah, this one is way out of control. But I don't know, after all that physicality, man. Chairs getting flung into people's eyes and all them things, Yeah,
I don't know if I can forgive after that. In the chest.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, again, no one knows what an EVP is. Apparently, no one knows what that title means, or whether it's just because they helped found it, or whether it's a legitimate title. Legitimate title. But the thing is, I've heard at those meetings they have that they do say, "Oh, you can come talk to us." So obviously they take some power in, like, we're people you can talk to. We are executive vice presidents of the company, so they have that title. So at the same time, you can't be walking around as if you're just one of the boys like that, as if you're just an ordinary talent.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the problem with having a status and being a full-time performer.
Yeah, this is why it also goes against. This is why it's also dependent on how they did approach him, because obviously they have that title behind them, and they're supposed to be carrying themselves a certain way. So, however they got into the room, or however stuff escalated to where it did, it definitely falls back on them majorly, because they're supposed to be in this certain position of power, so they should be able to deal with situations differently. There shouldn't have been any physicality or anything, or if there was, then it has to be clear cut, and it wasn't their faults or anything. You know what I mean? Yeah,
100%. I think they could have handled it very well. They could have got CM Punk suspended or fired if they wanted. Well, I doubt they can get him fired, but they could have waited for the show to finish, or even just call an audible and just say, really talk to Tony, get him off that scrum real quick. Easily put Jericho out there as a replacement. Ain't no one gonna complain.
Yeah, exactly.
Said, Tony, I don't know how you allowed that. Punk said too much. He said this, said that. I'm heated, and he needs to be dealt with. He's on a, you can say whatever, and it was unprofessional. You could call him to a meeting and say, his actions are unprofessional, blah blah blah. And they could have probably got him suspended or fined or something, or do a public apology for making the company look stupid.
Yeah,
but you can't go rush the man's locker room.
Yeah. I think either way, maybe that wasn't the time to approach him anyway. But then again, if they didn't approach him at that time, would he have then just because he was injured already from that point, so would he have just been off TV for 8 months, come back and then call out the whole elite on TV or something?
No, again, after those comments, that would have had to been addressed. They would have had to call him or schedule a meeting. He would have had to have seen them and squashed it.
Yeah,
again,
true.
When adrenaline's pumping, they're pissed off, obviously, to just get called out on a media scrum after their match and that. They've had a match earlier. They're probably hurting. Punk's injured. The whole thing was just a mess. Testosterone going mad. And they want to go again. Even if they tiptoed into his locker room, what was the outcome? What did they expect going into that locker room? What did they expect to happen? We're gonna walk in and make him change his mind, shake his hand, and walk out. There was only one option walking in that fucking place, man. And that was beef. Yeah,
for real. Maybe seeing it like that, maybe they should have just given it some time to breathe. You know what I mean? It was very heated. I think even maybe they was heated from the comments as well, as you would be.
Yeah, of course they were heated.
So I think everyone should have given it some time to cool down and approach it with lighter heads. Especially if you're an EVP, you should have this in mind already. You can't approach talent that seems a bit volatile. So just give them a moment.
Yeah, you can't approach him like that. And Hangman was the one that was insulted. Truly, he was called an empty-headed dumb fuck. He was fully insulted, and he didn't even go.
Yeah, and actually, that's a good point to bring up. Let's bring up Hangman right now. Because Hangman seems to be in the best position right now, and he's the one that is basically at the forefront of all this drama.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I was thinking, this beef is between Hangman and Punk, or it started from that anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
But yet, nothing has happened to Hangman. No one's, luckily, I mean, because Hangman, I wouldn't want Hangman to be put in any of these positions.
Yeah,
But I say, even so, for a TV stance, Hangman was in the tournament, and he was a big, I say, let's say problem for the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
He was a problem in that whole situation for the AEW Championship drama, let's say.
Yeah.
But yet he's back in the match I know he lost, but he was still within the running, and he put on a decent show as a match. So I say his position, he's maybe doing the best, because he hadn't really responded to anything after the fact that Punk called him out or anything. So I think maybe he's been doing the best of handling things.
Yeah, Hangman has definitely done the best of handling things, because his name's been called out personally, and not just EVP or guys in the back. Like Hangman has been said a few times. Got called out
on the big show as well. Called out in front of everyone.
In front of everyone. Not cowboy shit, coward shit. He got embarrassed. He didn't react to that. The scrum, he got called an empty-headed dumb F. Didn't react to that. He's just relatively just kept it a buck. He ain't well, no pun intended, but he hasn't done anything stupid. He obviously knows how to carry himself, and he's that's why he's still on TV and stuff. I think he lost the in that tournament and stuff. So from what Punk's saying, he's just been fed information. He's been fed that Punk got him fired.
Yeah.
And then Tony Khan at the scrum jumped in and he was like, I should have made it clear, blah 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 blah. So obviously the information is making the rounds. He's friends with Colt, so even Punk said it. It's like, I understand sticking up for your friends. So I think Hangman just sees it as he's backing Colt, not Punk.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way Hangman sees it. But I ain't gonna burst into your locker room and buckshot Larry or nothing. I just I'm not a fan of you. I think you're overrated. And he's just speaking on stuff he doesn't really understand at some points, but he's not stupid.
I think Hangman's just kept it where it's meant to be. Just if you don't like the guy, then you don't like the guy, and that's about where you'll leave it at. You're not gonna interact with him or in any way, because you don't need to really.
Yeah, or maybe he sees it as, I did start this. I went on TV and said the whole workers' rights thing. So, you know what I mean? Maybe the way he sees it as well, he tried to get me back. I mean, the other thing is there was a massive gap, like flipping after that promo and that match. There was, there was a big Punk got injured, so it's probably not the same. It's not even not heated in his head. It's not deep. The Punk was sitting on that at home. He's sitting on that. He came back with the fire promos because that was on his mind.
Yeah, for real. I can't remember when Punk actually left. I'm sure he had another match after beating Hangman.
Yeah, he beat Hangman. He was champion. He had a I think it was like a trios match. I think he was Punk FTR versus, I can't remember. It might have been Young Guns. What are they called?
Young Guns.
The Gun Club, the Arse Boys. It was something.
Yeah. It was. I think
something like.
Yeah,
that.
I think it was. Yeah.
And then which was unexplained. Why is Punk with FTR? But we move, and the next minute he was injured. I think that was the match where he screwed it up badly. He messed it up the night before, broke it or whatever. Yeah. Tried walking on it, and he had that match, and he grinded the crap out of it.
Yeah, because when Punk called Hangman out, I was thinking, okay, maybe they just didn't finish off their storyline or whatever. Maybe Hangman was supposed to face him again or something. But as we've seen it go on now, that definitely wasn't supposed to happen.
That's what we're saying, and everyone was like, "Oh, is it gonna be a triple threat? It's gonna be Punk versus Hangman versus Mox?" Nah,
exactly.
He wanted the business for himself. Like, nothing to do with it.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Ladies Championship. No, Hangman, come then. Come get your rematch then. No? Pussy old cowboy. Alright, moving on. That was that.
I wonder what would have happened if Hangman did actually come out against,
That would have been awkward.
Yeah.
That would have been
because would they have had to set up that match then? Or would they just have to just leave it for what it is and not even explain it, just leave it? I mean, it worked in the way of how you wanted it to work because, he was obviously not going to come out because he's not even
scheduled to. So
he's not scheduled to. But let's say alternate universe type saying Hangman was like, what? Comes running to the ring.
So basically, if Hangman was the Elite or Eddie Kingston.
Exactly. and then what? Because I'm thinking, why I'm saying that is because I'm thinking, if I was going to do something like that, I'm either going to expect someone to come out and confront me, or, they do nothing and then I move on from that because I called him a bitch, basically. So, but then if he did come, then that means I'm expecting to fight right there and then, you know what I mean? And for him to do that on big time TV, that was definitely not a good move to make. Because if Hangman did come out now, then boom, that's a big fight right there. I think, if Eddie Kingston was in a position like that, maybe. I don't want to keep bringing up Eddie Kingston because obviously I love the guy. As I said, I think he's real as hell, man. Like he was doing so sick previously until he got into the Jericho feud, but let's not go into that.
We won't.
I think someone like Eddie Kingston would have just done a fat promo on Man the next day or something. So yes, it's more commending Hangman for keeping quiet about it and just leaving it as it is. Because obviously other people would have just gone off the rails and made it even deeper and worse or whatever.
Yeah, this is why certain people stay at the top forever. People say, "Oh, I hate John Cena," blah blah. The reason John Cena was at the top that whole time is because he knows how to act. He knows how to carry himself. You're not going to catch him off guard with these stupid situations. He's not going to react. He's not going to bite, and he's not going to make the company look stupid. They can 100%. Rely on him, and I can put him in any situation, stack all the cards against him, make him look like a fool, and he's not going to react in no dummy way on camera, in person. He might be a completely different guy when the camera stops, but he is, that same person. He hasn't slipped up till this day.
Yeah, exactly.
But some of these guys, they just get caught slipping. Whether it's on like social media, like Seth always saying dumb stuff, or if it's like Punk just can't keep things personal or whatnot, or the Bucks to go raid your locker room.
Yeah, that's way over the top.
Yeah, there's some stand-up guys where you just will not catch them slipping like that because they just know how to handle themselves and handle the situation.
Yeah.
And,
or maybe even fucking Colt Cabana, because he's been the main focal point of everything. His name has been right there. Everyone's been trying to defend him and whatnot, and he has been one to not say anything about it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't know.
It's good or it's bad, but he ain't televised or even in the back to even do anything in the first place. But
he ain't even there anyway.
Yeah, he there. That's their problem. He ain't there.
Yeah.
He ain't there, but
true.
Obviously that's their friend, so they're gonna protect him. I get it, innit? He was there. He was in the Dark Order, and then he wasn't. You know what I mean? He was a big part of it, and then he just disappeared. And then when they have these Ring of Honor shows now, he just shows up. So you know what I mean? He was a part of it during the pandemic and whatnot. And obviously, he's got his fans and people that like him, and the next minute he's just gone. Obviously, he's got his friends backstage. they're like traveling with him and stuff, and the next minute he's demoted to a different show.
Yeah.
Because this other guy showed up, so I hear all that, but I think they just need to communicate backstage. I don't think it has to be a thing where the only time it's spoken about is when it blows up and you make the company look like crap.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. And yeah, there's a weird feeling. Even on Dynamite, there was just this weird feeling. Like you said, we was dreading watching it to begin with.
It was like there was something in the air, just lingering, waiting to damn fart on everyone. And I don't know, man. It was just off. Yeah. And even I was even less excited for MJF to come out and say his stuff because I knew it was going to be on that type of subject, didn't it? Mm-hmm. So I was actually glad that not MJF. I was glad that Moxley came out and said what he said because that lifted it a bit. He told him it's not the time for that, which is so true.
It's true. Everyone was just
was so true.
Cringing up in their seats, like, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
We're already suffering here. We don't need to hear this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, MJF suffers here, but him coming back should be a big deal, and it was going to be huge, but everything was kind of knocked off. And people are saying it's karma for what he did to Wardlow. And I hear that.
Yeah, true.
I hear that, but I mean, this is done in the worst way. So there's no winners.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. There's literally no winners. We don't win, and they don't win. So
yeah, no one wins. Brandon
no one
titles
wins.
That within Death Triangle won.
Which is good.
Which is great.
Big claps for Death Triangle, man. Big props for Death Triangle because they deserve that. Yeah, they deserve that big time.
Yeah, they finally get their props. 2-pack, got his 2 straps.
Oh, I saw that. 2-pack.
Looking good, bro.
That was jokes.
2-pack, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that was good.
And he got a nice little tournament going on. So yeah, I mean. Yeah, I wasn't sure with the show at first, but looking back on it and rewatching some of it, I like the vibe of it. It's like it was back to basics. So let's focus on younger talent. Let's focus on the wrestling, and let's get back to what we was known for. And there's a lot in the cards to still to come with the Christian and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. There's a lot going on. This is the problem with the whole when there's dirt sheet stuff and there's rumors and stuff. It takes away from what's actually going on. We're focusing on punk this, punk that, and it's like the acclaim are popping off. Again, you got Luchasaurus who's about to become Kane reincarnated. You got so much going on. You got young talent. You got Darby. You got so much going on. And it's back in the day. That's all you had. You didn't have Punks and Bryans and Coles.
Yeah,
so that's all you could focus on. Dark and Elevation were watchable, but now it's like they're focusing so much on the veterans and like big star power and versus how it used to be. Like, this is what happens, man. This becomes the ego show, and Punk knows he's the biggest star there, the biggest name draw there. So this is what happens, man.
Yeah, for real.
I think Punk needs to humble himself a little bit.
Yeah, I think so because from when he came back to how he is now, it's a totally different persona and personality. Yeah. Even last week he said the thing to the person in the crowd about obviously it seemed like yeah, okay, Punk's gonna go down the heel route, but then again it was said for no reason because he wasn't actually going down the heel route. Maybe it was like to tease it or something, but I don't know. It didn't seem that way anyway. It just seemed like he just wanted to be a dick, but
yeah, the guy was chanting out Colt Cabana.
Oh.
Yeah, he was screaming his name. So it wasn't even like let me tease going heel like we thought it was. We watched it together, but no, it wasn't even that. He was chatting. He was heckling him. He was shouting out Colt.
Okay, so I'm less informed. Where I haven't seen all of this information.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it on thing. Yeah, the guy was like, "Oh, Cabana," and he caught wind of it. So he stopped his whole promo to bug man off.
Okay then. Okay, now it makes sense. Oh,
that's
fair enough.
Thinking, he's teasing the heel toe. He's teasing the heel toe. Yeah, but no, he just wanted to mug that guy off.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, even what you said, I feel like he said something in. It might have been on the media scrum, but when he came back, he was like, "There's tons of young talent to." I know. Did you see the Promo Joe video? He was saying at the start. He showed the first promo. Like, oh, there's tons of young talent.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I saw that.
In the media scrum, he was like, "Yeah, these young guys. I'm tired of working with these young guys who don't want to take advice and all this bullshit." I think he just came in and thought, finally I can be the veteran who everyone wants to listen to. But no one's fucking with him like that. No one wants the advice, which is stupid because Punk, he's done it all.
Yeah.
But you hear it everywhere. He rubs people the wrong way. So.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just the persona that he carries with him. That I can't think of the word right now, but he's not to everyone's taste.
Yeah, he's very polarizing. I think if people either think, I love CM Punk, he helped me with this, or they're just like, oh, the guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
So I think that's been said since the beginning of time with this guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's been said for a time.
Yeah, which is why he's best heel, because it makes sense.
Yeah, for real.
You're trying to push him as this lovable guy, and everyone's just, oh, the guys in the back don't even like you. It's like, they don't make sense. It ain't adding up.
Yeah, it's just like your role in it, your position, and where you stand with things, so you know not to do certain things or behave a certain way.
Exactly, with the main strap as well, and it just don't look good. And then the Bucks and Kenny as EVPs, who have a duty to watch over talent and communicate and whatnot. They went to a hostile situation, and they heard a bonfire was going on, and they walked in with petrol. I wondered why the whole thing exploded. So
yeah,
they did nothing to help the situation.
Yeah, which is maybe why they was suspended immediately straight away, because obviously that's just not the right behavior, or not the right thought process to be thinking. I'm a big EVP. I'm gonna go storming in there whilst he's hot already.
Yeah,
like no,
it's like six of them for the suspension. That is the Bucks, Kenny,
the whole crew, the whole crew, boy. Yeah, all of them.
So I'm guessing, it must have been because of that, and no one could cool it down. Like, everyone just allowed this to escalate.
Yeah.
But one of you said, stop, this is a bad idea. Like, all of you it's just stupid.
Yeah, and I see it as, because there were so many people there, I don't get how it escalated as far as it did. If there were so many people there, how did it get that far? Because from the reports, it seems like they burst in the room, Punk swung at Matt, Kenny got into a madness with Ace Steel, and
all I keep thinking about is that picture that Jim Cornette had, that cartoon photo.
That picture is hilarious.
Oh man,
that picture's hilarious.
That was brilliant. But yeah, I agree. I don't know how it went on.
Yeah, I don't know how it went on. And actually, even adding further people, Mega and MJF.
Yo, yeah.
So there must have been even more people than just the people that was there. So I don't know how it got so far.
Yeah, I don't know how it actually started. No one cooled it down. No one stopped the flying chair. No one stopped the bites.
Yeah.
Nothing. It just continued. So.
Yeah, it could have been dealt with much better. That's the main thing. It could have been dealt with much better. I think they should use this time to actually sort stuff out between them. And, as I say, especially with the Young Bucks and Kenny, this is basically their company. It's based off of them, off of their team. Like, they are the elite. It's all elite wrestling, you know what I mean? So I think with that in mind, whatever situation is to come to them, their main focus is to sort any issue out ASAP, like quickly.
Yeah.
And it's stuff shouldn't be allowed to have problems with them, especially. They shouldn't be the ones having the problems. They should be the ones, hearing the problems or sorting out the problems. They shouldn't be the ones in the problems. This is the one thing I keep questioning, like, what's going to happen. Because I say, if Punk does get fired from this, he's completely done from wrestling. He's not going back nowhere else. He's not going WWE or nothing. So I wouldn't want that to happen. That's the thing I don't want to happen the most, because having Punk back in wrestling that's we've been wanting that for years. So yeah, I say, with all the people in this situation, it's the worst people to have, because they're all at the top, and they're the people that we want to see within the same company as well. AEW is what we're watching right now heavily. So we want them all in this one company together, getting along at that. And at least being able to have matches. I don't want them to be together and we can't see a CM Punk versus Kenny match. Are you crazy? But yeah, with Punk, it's just, I guess it depends on where his mind is at, because he might not want to come back, because obviously if he does come back, look, who's the EVPs? The same people he's beefing with in that. The people that he's supposed to turn to are the ones that he has a problem with. So I say if they are able to fix that, which I'm not too sure if they are, because that was hands have been put on people's felt pain. So most of the time when you feel pain, you're gonna run.
People felt pain.
Oh gosh,
you gonna say it like that?
My bad. But yeah, most of the time when you feel pain, that's a bit harder to let go. Words are easier to let go sometimes, but especially when the words ain't that bad. Now they didn't really say too much badness to each other. But yeah, when you get physical with someone, most of the time you want to get them back on it. So, but at the end of the day, they're wrestlers. So they should be able to take certain words, easily. And more time they just see each other in the ring anyway. But yeah, we want them to be safe with each other anyway. But yeah, the main point of your question, what happens with Punk, is I think I heard that he had good talks with Tony already. I think him and Tony's relationship is what might make him stick around, because they seem to have obviously a good relationship. Not that Punk has respected in a way, but I'm sure that could be patched over, I suppose. Or Tony needs to let him know where he does stand. Not even to say apologize or anything, because if you got a problem with someone, you got a problem with someone. Just be able to sort out your problems better. And this is something that he came back to from years of not wanting to ever be a part of again. And I think he was given a great opportunity to come back into wrestling and to be opposed next to the one company that didn't allow him to shine or allow him to be who he wanted to be and feel the way he wanted to feel. He was put into a company where they all, well, it seemed like they welcomed him in, but I'm not too sure about the going on, the ins and outs of what's going on backstage or whatever. But yeah, it was a good fresh start for him, and as everyone looks at the company, people see AEW as the grass is greener. Obviously, this was before Triple H was running things in WWE. Yeah, I think Punk needs to. I don't know, man. I just think he was put in a good position and a good environment to come back to in order to enjoy wrestling and love wrestling again. And you could tell he was so happy to begin with as well. Man was just smiling all the time. We was thinking, this guy needs to do some. He needs to get angry a little bit. You know what I mean? We need to see some heel Punk and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Literally, man. Yeah, that's my viewpoint, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much the same mind. I think he does need like a suspension, maybe without pay for a certain point. I think he, because as big as he is, you can't walk around again thinking that you can just go off like that and make the whole company look stupid and throw off a big pay-per-view. That's their WrestleMania practically. So you shouldn't be able to think you can just roll it off. So I think he needs some sort of repercussions. But again, the suspension, by itself, with the fact that he's already injured, doesn't really make too much sense, because obviously he's off for like 6 to 8 months, I'm hearing. So what are you going to do, suspended for 2 weeks? He's off for 6 months. So
yeah, exactly.
Something different needs to happen. But I think, I don't think Tony Khan's going to let him go, because he knows what he's got, and like you said, they've got a friendship, a big friendship. So obviously I think there's obviously some personal friendship there. So I don't think he's going to let him go. So again, we'll talk as if Punk's coming back.
Yeah.
I think Punk is the only one that really had an issue in terms of, for example, the Elite. They went and rushed him in his locker room because of what Punk said at the scrum, but they don't really have an issue like that. Maybe the Colt Cabana thing, but again, Tony's done said that's his fault, but Punk, he thinks that rumors are being spread, and he's being blamed for certain things. Yeah, it just needs to be handled. You always hear about that stuff in the old school days and in wrestlers' court and all this stuff. They'd handle it backstage, or this happened, or they just there was always fights. You hear they just fight it out and then move it on. But nowadays, again, it's just. Well, why not just go confront him backstage? Like, did you ask for Colt to get moved to Ring of Honor? Like, you know what I mean? And he could tell you to your face. What are we talking about?
Yeah, for real.
Or if you don't want to talk to Punk, go talk to Tony. Like, did Punk like vouch for him to get moved? He'll be like, well, no. I think it's kind of they're combustible right now. So I made the decision, nothing to do with Punk, to move him over there, so it's not awkward for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or talk to Colt and be like, yo, is it awkward for you here? And it might because if realistically, it's like if you're beefing someone at work, for example, like there is no beef. I'm just not talking to you. You don't talk to me.
Yeah, for real.
I don't need to be moved into a different workroom. There's just no communication.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean, I don't need to be. Oh, I'm on this side. He's on this side. Even if I sit next to you, there's just no communication. That's it. We just don't fuck with each other. So I don't see why they couldn't have done that. But yeah, I mean, it's wrestling. There's gonna be people you don't like, and it's gonna be drama. It's wrestling.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just different minded, but yeah, I wouldn't take certain stuff that people say, especially within a promo. Like whatever you do on screen or on TV, or even online or whatever, I'm treating it as work. So if I'm treating it as work, then yeah, it's not going to offend me. You know what I mean? So
the character as well. It's like, look at the Jungle Boy stuff. You got Christian out there talking about his dead dad every 5 minutes, and talking about his mum and all this shit. It's like, god damn, like, this is real stuff. His dad really is dead, like that. But
exactly.
You feel for Jungle Boy, because Jungle Boy ain't the talker guy. He's not the straight shooter. He's not the promo guy. So you can't really defend himself. So you get, you can sympathize with him. So you get sympathy or empathy, and you want to see him bang Christian to get his. I remember what he said about his dad. I want to see Jungle Boy ruin Christian in the match. Exactly. That's what it feels. But when you got a guy like Punk, and Punk's power is his mouth. When he gets on that flipping microphone, there's not a lot of people that can hang with him. The same with Eddie Kingston. These guys, they bring up stuff. They talk you down. They sell the pay-per-view with their mouths. And then someone says something basic, and then you get thrown off. And again, of course it's got value. Of course it's gonna hurt, but it's a promo to get under your skin. And like exactly. That's your line of work. So with those two things, trying to get under my skin, and this is our line of work, it's just throw it away. But I think the problem comes from that they actually do have beef backstage.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's a bit deeper than normal.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then that's down to Tony to not book them against each other. I know it's a shame sometimes, because obviously you want to see certain people work together, but if it's not working out, then it's not working out. It just has to be that way. You know what I mean? It
just has to be that way. Some people just aren't like that with each other. Definitely not. And the true losers are like the casual fans. You watch that pay-per-view, paid their good money to watch that pay-per-view, had a few sleeps, woke up for Dynamite, and then the Elite who just won the trios, they're nowhere to be seen. The trios are vacated. Punk, who just won that championship, vacated, nowhere to be seen. Now it's back in another tournament. And there's some weird vibe, like a whole reset, people calling it. It's like they must be so confused.
Yeah, literally.
So nobody wins this stuff, but obviously this is exposed that there's a lot that's not working. Again, some people have not more responsibility, but again, someone like Tony Khan, this is your whole. You envision this whole thing here, so you have to control it to a degree. Yeah. You have the power for everything. You're paying for it. You pay for that scrum to have that set up, man. You're paying for that venue that he's disgracing your company in. So I think he's got a part to play. And if the EVP title means what it's supposed to mean, and their roles are what that would mean, what that would suggest, then they've got a role to play as well. Yeah. And Punk as the top star, he has a role to play as the guy who's spearheading this championship, and you're at the forefront. Like Moxie was saying, that championship makes you the legend or whatever. The legend goes for that shit. You can't just have it and be talking all this dirt. But again, obviously there were some combustible elements, and hopefully this leads to the air being cleared and they can move on from this. And that's the only positive I can see from this terrible situation. That if that was something that was eating away at everyone, now it's out in the open. Hopefully it can be settled. But I mean, it doesn't sound like it with this this lawsuit thing, not this the investigation.
The investigation.
The investigate what you investigating? See who started it or whatnot? Because I heard there was a lawyer in the room at the time.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I heard the AEW's Tony Khan's personal lawyer. That woman, she's been in a few backstage segments, but she's legit a lawyer, and she was in that room. So apparently,
that just makes them look even more stupid for going on how they did then.
Yeah, she apparently
and that's
the whole thing.
Yeah, and that goes for all of them. All of them are stupid.
Yeah, I was thinking it's just it don't make sense.
Yeah, none at all. What did they think was gonna happen?
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, you can never tell when stuff's heated. You can never tell what's gonna happen. So.
But yeah, man. I guess we got to see how it plays out. We're like a week removed from it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, we'll obviously try to do. We'll try to do this more sooner to the action, but. Yeah, and then our heads will be more clearer, so we won't have to go off track all the time. But
yeah, that's true.
But we got to it anyway, so.
Yeah, we got into it. We are late to it, but I mean, sometimes that's better. You get more information, and it's kind of improv, so we didn't have any notes, or we didn't kind of research into it. You can see I got this page loaded up. I didn't even read from it or nothing, did I?
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes off the cuff works out. But yeah, as it goes forward, we'll keep up to date.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was thinking. Well, I know we discussed it before. We'll probably get some Dynamite reviews in as it goes up, because there's a lot of content. I think it's not even bad mouthing anyone. I think with when the show's too, if you even something like a movie, you could watch 5 different movie reviews and they'll have 5 different perspectives on the movie, and some people will pick out things that others didn't. Some people notice the Easter eggs, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's the same with wrestling. I watch a few wrestling podcasts, and sometimes they pick up things I didn't even see, but sometimes they miss stuff. So I feel like, and then you've got the element of just having a different opinion.
Yeah.
So I think we should definitely try and keep up with this, because I think there's a lot of stuff that we can go into and have good conversations on, and things that you notice that I don't even notice, and vice versa, or stuff that we both notice, and I call you and you're already talking about it. So
yeah, literally, because like this conversation here, like obviously you've said some stuff that I didn't notice, so yeah, it's been good, isn't it? So I hope some of the listeners can hear some different opinions and stuff, and you know.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure they probably know some stuff that we don't even know yet, or they might have got something twisted, or they might have some extra content for it. I don't mind learning about it. Again, it's just dirt sheet stuff at the moment. No, this ain't confirmed, so again, the speculation is what's leading this on right now. But at the end of the day, we all care about it. We all want to see AEW do well. This is the alternative. This is what brought us in when we kind of fell off the other one, because it wasn't great content. And competition is the key. We want competition. Competition is not a bad thing. It's a good thing in sports. You don't want just one company. That's when it goes bad.
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't want AEW just to die out or become that weird TNA vibe where it's like an alternative, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely don't want that.
But yeah, we'll keep up to date with this as more stuff drops. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's outro this and get the fuck on.
Get the fuck on.
I'm finna whip this hoe.
I'm tired as hell. But yeah.
I'm tired as hell.
It's definitely be fun, man. And we'll definitely keep this going. And you guys need your bad-minded reviews. You need it. You need it in your
It's
soul.
needed. It's a necessity.
Right, yeah, man. Well, I'll catch you on the next one, man.
Yeah, man. Like and subscribe, motherfuckers.